What's important for Cisco, because we feel there are a lot of disruptive technologies that are being incubated and launched by early stage companies. We know that Cisco, as great as it may be, can't do everything on its own. So we need to look to partners, and an important part of that equation is working with startups and scale-ups. I think Cisco is unique in the sense that we have a continuum of ways for startups and scale-ups to engage Cisco. One good example is corporate venturing. It's called Cisco Entrepreneurs in Residence. And it's a way for us to come to startups and scale-ups and say, listen, you can engage with us, you can build relationships with Cisco's business units first before we take it to the next level. So it's a very open business, commercially based approach to work with companies like Cisco. Cisco Entrepreneurs in Residence is a great example. Another way to work with Cisco is, of course, to work with our corporate development group. We have a very active investment and acquisition portfolio. We have a portfolio of $2 billion in market value as of today. There are over 100 companies in 27 countries in that portfolio. So if your interest is working with Cisco on that dimension, you can always come to us from that angle. There are also 9 Cisco innovation centers around the world, including one in London near Shoreditch. And these innovation centers build communities through co-working space, in events, and other programs to really have an open door policy to startups and scale-ups in those locales. So there are multiple ways to engage Cisco. I think what Cisco is doing is onto something. I think we must be doing something right, because we see so much excitement in the startup community today. So I think it's important for companies like Cisco, corporations, to have a spectrum and a continuum of options for startups to come to them and engage and build relationships. It's not just one type of program that works for all startups, but rather it's a variety of startups in different locations to really harness the innovations of startups and scale-ups. What we do from Cisco's corporate venturing perspective, for example, is to really focus on delivering on the ABC of corporate startup partnerships. A stands for agility, B is for business models, and C is for continuity. We try to make sure that these essential needs and pain points, frankly, for startups and scale-ups are addressed in any relationship building with startups. We try to make sure that we as a company move as fast as our startup partners. That's for agility. We try to make sure that we build a mutually beneficial business model with each of the companies. So often small companies, startups and scale-ups get scared because when they partner with large companies like Cisco, they fear that they end up with the short end of the stick. We try to make sure that that's not the case. Continuity is important as well, because startups come to big companies like Cisco and end up with executives or relationships that don't last. We try to make sure that any relationship we build with small companies has a lasting value.